orange juice?
No, I'm good.
We are live.
Captain Hindsight. Well, you could have asked for it if you actually wanted to.
You could have gone to the kitchen yourself and brought it to you.
Guys,
Yes, hello.
we are live.
So warm up. We're getting worked up.
Yeah.
So, should we say hello to people?
Hello, people.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Let's say hello to people on Pablo's page. Hola a todos.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the page is actually on Instagram.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't have one.
YouTube/Linda.
Okay,
The one person that is watching.
Okay, shall we go? Shall we record?
Shout,
I
yes.
think we shall go and
Hello, awesome.
Hello, Radio 15.4.
Okay.
Is it ready right now?
Well, everything is ready.
Okay.
It's just that,
Waiting for that guy. Not sure
well,
what he's doing.
yeah, I don't know. He is just
I think
on the interwebs.
everything is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if the audio works, but I still didn't hear anyone complaining about it.
All right.
Complain.
Go.
Record. Wait a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
It's recording.
You're listening to the Blender Institute podcast, brought to you by the Blender Cloud. Do you suffer from Dutch schevening and disorder? Geen genuine goals on the cloud. Go to cloud.blender.org.
What?
No regrets. Joining us today is Francesco City,
Hey.
Andy Gorolce,
Hello.
Talai Valento,
Hello.
Pablo Vasquez,
Hello.
and I'm Healthy Anderson. Here's your host, Francesco!
All right. I was feeling a little bit tired and sleepy, but now I'm fully awake. Okay, so welcome everybody to the Blender studio.
Wait, what did I say? I don't remember what I said.
Me neither.
Did you
it
say
was so loud.
Institute? Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, I probably said Institute. It's on auto mode
It's all
right now.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, no regrets, as you were saying.
We
What is
are
our name right now?
It's the Blender Studio podcast, Blender Animation Studio podcast.
live from Amsterdam
Yes,
because people are asking, where are you right now?
we are live in Amsterdam. We are all alive, and this is number 53. So,
Is it?
welcome everyone.
Hello.
How are
Hey.
you guys doing?
No, it's a bit warm.
Yeah, it's kind of warm.
It's summer in the Netherlands.
Overdressed.
Overdressed. Yes.
Yeah, why are you overdressed, Dalai?
Because I'm about to see the 9th wonder of the world, as per Francisco's definition of opera night.
9th. What is the 8th?
Cinema.
Oh. Whoa! The concept of
Okay,
cinema.
wow. All right.
Amazing.
Okay, so yeah, we are going to see the Rigoletto by Verdi. He's not going to be there himself, but...
What?
What?
Okay, sorry guys, but
He didn't make it?
no. But it's going to be a great show with a very modern setting. I'm very excited for you to see it because I think not everyone here has seen opera yet in their life. Some
No.
of us have, some of us
No.
have not. So I'm very curious to see what the reactions are going to be, and I'm looking forward to it.
Can you drink beer while you're watching opera?
Where can we buy the popcorn?
People keep popping the Grols beer.
Don't forget your 3D glasses.
Whoa. It's like it's really there. So, Dalai, this is your first time at an opera?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen on TV this caricature of opera,
Yeah.
fat Italian ladies singing. I don't know.
Was it a Tom and Jerry cartoon? That was also my experience. Yes.
Pavarotti was quite famous in Brazil.
Of course.
Yeah.
They'd be on the Sunday TV show all the time.
Yeah,
I
was
like the
quite
guy.
famous in the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
I
pretty, people are aware, yes.
yeah, that's good. That's good that you know. I mean, I think he, as a singer, he did a great job to bring the opera genre a little bit connected with the pop music and all the events that he did. So it's great. A lot of people know opera, or at least have this stereotype of the chubby Italian singer because of him. But it's better to have that than not even know how it sounds at all. So I think it was great.
Don't you need to be fat so the voice reverberates further? I always assume that.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, if the vocals are bigger, then it's better. But and that kind of happens if you have a bigger person. But you'd be surprised. Sometimes you see these really slender people, and you wouldn't think that they had such a strong voice, and then they open their mouth. It's crazy.
Nice.
Also, the whole cliche of the fat lady with the like Viking helmet with horns and stuff. That's Wagner. That's like German stuff. You know? It's not even Italian.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh.
Yes, Francesco.
Blender
Onwards
into
and
the
upwards.
podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we're going to do today because we're still, at least recovering and moving on from the release of the Agent 327 film.
We have to recharge our cultural batteries.
Yeah, we're still in the aftermath. And
Actual life.
yeah, get the life and everything. So yeah, it's very interesting to do this also. And, you know, it's like those TV shows where you get a live audience now, so you actually can see if people are commenting and saying something. So we have this screen at the moment with you know, the people that are following us talking live.
Actually, the most distracting thing is the mute alert blinking constantly there.
Yeah, maybe we can do something about that. But yeah, people ask about the 360 because the past episode we also recorded it and streamed it, and it was a 360 degrees stream. It was both available in Facebook and YouTube, and it was very well received. So it was just us talking, recording the podcast as we normally do. So if you hear us, you should not hear any difference, but at the same time, if you want to be here with us and sitting in the center of the table and looking around, you can actually do that. But today our 360 device is sick at the doctor, so we are using a substitute, and it's just boring 2D. So that's where we are with the 360. So yeah, we asked for, last time we mentioned that we wanted to shake up things a little bit in terms of the theme and what this podcast was going to be, because we were getting a bit too repetitive in our structure. So we are basically kind of back at improvising and just saying random stuff. We got some, I'm getting some interesting looks when I'm talking about this.
Yeah,
I wonder,
because you're going to say something really cool.
You're going to have some amazing theme that we didn't know about.
Yeah, the expectation is going up. Yeah, exactly.
Today we're gonna talk about Wonder Woman new flick.
Yeah, ooh, maybe.
I want to watch it actually.
When is it going to come out?
Next week, but sorry, sorry, Francisco.
it's a great theme, Dalai. We can talk more about that because I have no idea. Actually, we asked online for a suggestion, but I don't think we got a lot of tips except for the underwater tip, which
it didn't make sense. I don't know what they mean. Just are we supposed
somebody
to be underwater when we do it.
Well,
would
yeah,
love
just
to
to
be
put in
underwater
context,
right
somebody tweeted at us saying that if we don't have a topic, we can talk about underwater, but exactly.
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's a movie that is called that, or a book or something that we I don't know.
Not familiar with.
So let us know.
Yeah, maybe we're only supposed to have references to underwater things.
Yeah,
so,
we could have replied the tweet too, but
yeah, never replied.
You didn't reply the tweet?
No.
these
Evil.
Twitter stars, you know, Twitter stars.
Yeah.
So
Under
okay.
the sea.
I never
under
made
the
an
sea.
animation under the water. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I did.
I mean, you did?
Yeah, well, inspired by Nemo
Oh,
with the
Wait.
caustics and stuff.
you actually turned that into an animation? I remember that.
I didn't publish the animation, but yes, that's how good it was. But
That's so awesome.
I remember I used a caustic generator in a Windows app that it was open source, and back in the days, it was just make a BMP, of course, a sequence of
Nice.
caustics, like 256 pixels, and like super small, and I made that.
I remember when ray tracing was this fuzzy thing, and everything like everyone would say caustics every once in a while, and everyone would go like, "Ooh,
And
caustics."
it's funny though that even nowadays on cycles,
Yeah,
caustics is like a thing. It's not something you just give.
it's the
you know,
noise button.
It's a noise button basically. Yeah, it's a slow button.
I
So
will send him
we
here.
stopped him. So what is the actual?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What's the topic?
Tell
Is
us,
it
please.
underwater? Have you ever been underwater? Not in the shower, but like actually.
Yeah.
Do you pee underwater?
We don't-
What?
we
How
don't
deep
say.
are we
This
talking?
is going to be the podcast of awkward silences,
Yeah.
I think.
It's my fault. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, what happened in the Blender world? let's back.
Well,
back
actually,
there.
I wanted to ask everyone what's been going on, because we released the agent, and last time we did our podcast, indeed, we were just talking about how it was, and we were just out of the thrill of the agent. So now we are kind of in the second stage, which is like the thrill is wearing off. The
Denial.
reactions have stopped.
But
The views have stopped, and now there are other things happening, of course. But like, you know, like when we recorded the podcast, it was really just after all this momentum of getting the video out and getting 500,000 views in a
everything.
few days. So like still everything going. Like, and every day there was like a new website talking about it. And it was great just to see the reactions from everyone. But now there is kind of a change of pace, right? And we're also like not going on the YouTube page, refreshing and answering everybody in the comments and things like that. So
we got Mundo Digitales announcement yesterday.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what is Mundo Digitales?
It's It's a festival. Well, it's a conference and a festival animation in A Coruña in Spain. They selected for the festival animation. They selected Agent 327. So we are going to be there.
Cool.
And by we, I don't know, whoever comes along. I would love to go there because Pepe Land, Daniel Martinez Lara is gonna be there. Nacho, animator, is gonna be there.
So Spanish speaking crowd.
Spanish speaking, yeah, but the conference is international, so there will be there will be English stuff.
Eu adoraria conhecer La Coruna.
Really, that's Spanish, by the way.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
So
I would love
Muy bien.
to know
amigo.
A Coruña, A Corona. You said the crown.
I think about the beer,
Yeah, the beer. Well, that's a Mexican beer. Yeah, okay. In Spain is Estrella.
Oh, I like Estrella. It's pretty good beer.
Yeah, and so we are gonna be there, and that's pretty exciting. I've never been.
When is it again?
6th to 8th of July.
Cool.
So I might go a day before and come back a day later or something just to
Nice.
enjoy.
hang out. Yeah. I was talking with Daniel. He's been there for like 15 years already, so he knows. He already you have to like go one day before and then leave one day after because the night there is a party and then it's like all this. It's like a little SIGGRAPH.
Yeah. He walks in the door. Everybody's like, "Oh, Daniel!" And they have his favorite beer ready for him.
I bet. Well, he got one of these prizes for like the long-standing artists, and he's a legend. He's
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a legend to us, but didn't know there was a
but
community there.
it's bigger there. Yeah.
great.
He is even more of a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Living legend.
on top of that, we've been also submitting to other festivals, and we are gonna see as soon as there are more things popping up. We are gonna keep submitting, and hopefully we get good replies. And speaking about festivals and speaking about SIGGRAPH, well, we tried to submit our film to SIGGRAPH, but that didn't work out this year. So we are not going to be in the festival. Maybe we can submit it again next year, and who knows?
But it's just to make clear that this happened before because we submit the time for submitting is when you submit unfinished stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's acceptable that they because with the when is the deadline? It's like early, like a few months ago. So of course the movie wasn't finished.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
mean,
we had the same experience with Cosmos London.
Cosmos, we submitted the unfinished
For
version
some
of
reason,
it.
we always submit unfinished stuff. Maybe we should just shift our
Entire
whole
schedule.
cycle a bit.
I mean, the SIGGRAPH festival is pretty big, so
Yeah. That means we need to be working right now. And the deadline is next month.
No. We tried that one and working in the summer. Nope.
It's very hot.
Yeah.
Well, we
extremely
rendered Cosmos Laundromat in the summer.
Yeah.
In
And
August.
other projects too is like the worst time to render
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we are not going there with the film in the festival, but some of us are going there regardless because it's such a nice event to take part to. So this year, me and Kjalti and Sergey and Ton for sure are going to be there. So that's very cool. And what is also cooler is that we submitted a talk, and that's also something that happens quite rarely for us and SIGGRAPH. The talk was actually accepted. So we are going to actually have an actual talk in the Pipe Dreams section. So there is a 1 hour Pipe Dreams session that is just called like that, about pipelines. And we are going to talk about our open source pipeline. So how we made, what have been our developments and what we've been working with after the release of Cosmos. So it starts from, we finished Cosmos, what did we do after, all the way until the agent. It's supposed to be around 20 minutes long. And it's pretty cool. I mean, our fellow panelists are people from Double Negative and MPC and Technicolor, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, yeah, very cool. And there are going to be like 3 or 4 groups, like panelists talking and by panelists, I mean like really groups of people talking about a different topic. And one of them is going to be me and Ton, maybe Hjalti, maybe Sergey. And so we're looking forward to that. been very nice because normally we try to get a production session. We try lots of things, but of course, for us, a little independent studio in the Netherlands doing these weird indie films with open source software. I mean, it's interesting, but to a certain extent, because SIGGRAPH is really industry centered. They really get like all these big players, Sony, DreamWorks, and Pixar, and like they have 20 different panels about 20 different
Blender.
things. Yeah, and then once in a while we get that too. So I'm very excited about that.
That sounds like you're going to talk about 2.8 also a lot, right?
Ooh.
Because that's what comes next, and that's also pretty much a result of the past projects, right? The whole workflow thing.
Yeah, and I mean that's also something that has been announced, which is there will be a 2.8 demo. So that's it will be there at the booth, but it will mostly be a presentation of 2.8 to the world, or what's the status of 2.8. And we have here with us one of the 2.8 leads that can tell us how is it going. Is it going to be ready for SIGGRAPH?
Hjalti.
Yes.
Sorry.
Is it? Or isn't it? I'm not sure.
You're not one of the 2.8 leads.
No.
So
Unless you want to
what,
be.
what do you think of the kernel at this point?
Okay, Dalai.
Okay, yes.
Please. Is it gonna be ready? Does life has a meaning?
Oh, okay. Abort.
Well, basically, something's gonna be ready. A demo gonna be ready in a very controlled environment. Luckily, we are friends from industry leaders, some of the main industry players. So we actually using like top-notch, state-of-the-art hardware there. So for the demo, it's gonna be perfect. But to try at home, you might still need to wait a little bit for optimization to landing, for polishing and the overall usability to find its place in 2.8. But we definitely have one of our main deliverables to be SIGGRAPH, followed later by Blender Conference. But SIGGRAPH is going to be something there, for sure.
So it's going to be at the booth. There's going to be a computer set up with 2.8.
A really, really fast computer. I don't know if I'm allowed
Like
to
really
tell.
fast.
Yeah, no, we have no announcement yet. for
Okay,
that.
no announcement yet. Really fast computer. And then actually, if you're interested about 2.8 or even in particular, just yesterday, we published something on the code.blender.org.
I saw it. It's beautiful, by the way. Just saying. It looks beautiful. What was the code about?
Yeah.
The blog.
It was, I think, this graphic designer, Venom GFX.
Oh, yeah. I saw the
Legend.
Designed by
CEO,
Venom GFX.
Don Rosenthal. Yeah, it's like, come on.
Shall we at least try to have people in the loop here, or?
Yeah, no, there's yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I redesigned the code blog a few days ago, and Tom tweeted about it saying, "Oh, it looks great. Thanks to Venom at Venom GFX." And I haven't used that Twitter handle for a few years now, many years actually. And
Does it work?
Somebody took it.
No.
Oh, no.
And he has actually, Martin is following Juan Pablo.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so some people are
Your
following
past
this
is
guy
haunting
thinking.
you.
I almost start following it today. I said, shit, I didn't follow the old Pablo.
Yeah.
I was about to say, no, he's not using it. Fine.
No, I changed it. I should have made like a fake account with it just to avoid this crap.
Yeah. But
Because
this is when it's good to be verified on Twitter, like you are.
yeah, that's
Real
true.
celebrity.
Yeah.
I applied to be verified on Twitter. Haven't heard since, but
So the code blog article.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
so the code.blog, the code.blender.org itself is fantastic. Looks really good. Thanks, Pablo. Thanks the whole internet, Blender, the web developer, volunteers,
Community.
team,
Yeah, it's including Francesco City also.
It looks really, really sharp. So it's our pleasure as a developer when we want to outreach and to tell people how things are going, to have such a nice platform. So the recent post we had there is because Clément Foucault, the lead on EV development, the new render real-time viewport engine for the Blender 2.8. He was here in the Institute for a week ago. And then we actually, as part of the week, we wrote a document about the roadmap until SIGGRAPH. And it's there. It's a more technical post on the wiki, but you also have an even more technical post about optimization topics and optimization tasks, because we expect maybe new developers to also jump in and maybe help. And it basically made a very friendly for artists post on Code.Blender explaining all the excitement that's going on and where people can get the build bot tests to play with Eevee themselves. How people are already posting on YouTube or Twitter some early tests of Eevee. It's so nice, so gratifying to see it, people using it.
That's really cool.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Pretty nice.
Silence. Are they answering questions? I'd like to know how they're handling the folds.
Yeah,
in
we
the
keep the
clothes.
questions for the ending.
No one cares. I'm talking about Eevee now.
Yeah. Now, for people asking on YouTube, yeah, we are gonna answer questions, but at the end of, right?
There are other announcements related to 2.8, but I can leave it for now. So apart from this nice write-up about Eevee and a very solid roadmap, it's nice if people can look at the whole workspace project, which is finally merged into 2.8.
Is it?
I saw a tweet yesterday. No, actually, I saw the message in the mailing list with like this very
enthusiastic, because it's been a project that's been going on for God knows how long.
Workspaces.
Yes.
It's not. I mean, it's not the asset manager.
no, yeah, that's true.
No, but since the usability workshop.
That's November.
Yeah, but it's
That's
a long
nothing.
time. I was still 32 back then.
Should develop everything in 1 week.
When I was really doing the design of the code blog, there's asset manager talk since 2014. That's 3 years ago.
Come on, let's praise development, not being harsh.
No, that is long ago. November is like around the corner.
But look at the bright side. At least Asset Manager wasn't merged in 2.8 and broke everything.
I'm
No, sorry. Let's keep on the bright page.
Let's keep the bright side.
But that's
What about the workspaces, Dalai?
So Workspace allow artists to set up a proper work environment for the task at hand. I think we probably praised this a few times here, but I'll do it once again.
Yeah, we did.
Basically, for a modeler, you want to make sure you want to use the nice matte cap and the shadow quality is properly set up, and there's override for whatever you want to override to simplify things, open subdiv and whatnot, and it's all there. But then for sculpting, you can switch to a sculpting workspace, which has a different layout, but also has different settings, different quality for the materials, different overrides, and the idea is still in its infancy. So you just need to be supportive now. But the idea is that's going to be well integrated to work with multiple windows, and then you can have one window with Clay or Eevee, another with Cycles, one for final render, one for touch-ups and edit and all that.
Yeah, but that's the viewport part. But actually, the workspace is more than that. It's not only going to be a different viewport. It's just the whole UI is going to change to accommodate the tools that you need. For example, if you're in modeling, you only have modeling. You don't have motion tracking stuff, for example. Ideally, of course, you can tweak that at it's Blender after all. You can tweak it, but the idea is that you can isolate tools and, more importantly, key maps. So when you're modeling, you only have or when you're animating, you only have the shortcuts for animation instead of by mistake, I don't know, splitting a mesh or like breaking the, yeah. So ideally this will give more room for developers and artists to have their own key maps without stepping other tools. So
that's also when I kind of wish that we had keyboards where every single button is a little screen. Like even if it's low res, really crappy.
They exist.
Yeah, they exist.
Really expensive.
They're expensive and they're not that well made.
Well, actually, Sergey and we looked it up the other day how much one of those keys would be.
Yeah.
And it's like 60 euros for one key or so.
Wait.
Expensive.
What? For a little LCD. Yeah, that's
I guess
cheaper.
that's part of the problem, I guess.
Yeah, that's way cheaper then.
How? Why?
I think the screen itself might not be that expensive, but just the way to interface with it. I might be wrong.
Imagine every key has its own graphics card in it.
No.
Okay,
whoa.
I'm pretty sure you can. Okay, maybe not 60 euros or so, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Just to set it up and work with your computer, but
it could. I mean, just hypothetically. I mean, this is stuff I was thinking about in 2001, 2000, something like that. Like this way back when, and I kept thinking, that's the most obvious thing, the next step. Which I kept switching between all these softwares, and you have to mentally remind yourself, what does T represent in Photoshop or Blender or whatever it is.
But ideally, then Blender should be enabled to work with a touch screen, right? 2.8, 2.8.
Ooh, tangibility.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish I have heard the
Paylands.
passion, but for sure. It's the freaking screen. There's a screen there showing stuff. I'm not ready to. I'm not used to these multimedia setup. Sorry.
I
What do you mean?
I can switch to TV.
There's a big screen with questions.
Yeah, but like
Just
the
don't
last
look
question
at it.
was like 5 minutes ago. You
And I
don't
was
have to
reading.
keep
I was
watching it.
reading, and then the guys was talking, and I was drawing here.
Numbers of
just
things.
too distracted.
Like the eye is hyper-stimulated.
The other
Just
thing that's
look
very
Look at the
interesting.
window. There's nothing going on.
The other very interesting thing that's coming to 2.8 is the whole new grease pencil. Pablo, why don't you talk to us about that instead of playing Candy Crush?
Aha!
I'm following the
J'accuse.
people. Okay. I actually, to my defense, I've never ever played Candy Crush.
It's really good
Is
and
it?
addictive, yeah.
Yeah.
And bright, and the music just talk to you in your heart.
Actually, I don't have a single game on my phone.
The segue to
Checking out the high
boring.
score for Candy Crush, and it's at
Venom GFX.
yeah, and GFX. I don't know. Must be that other guy.
So yeah, regarding Grease Pencil, yeah, great news. The Grease Pencil, we always wanted Grease Pencil. Everybody, I guess, wanted Grease Pencil thanks to great artwork by people online that we always wanted Grease Pencil to have a more prominent place in Blender. And 2.8 is going to be the time because Grease Pencil is going to get not rewritten, yeah, in a way. Yeah, refactored. Yeah, refactored into, first of all, it's going to have its own workspace, which is great because that way you have a whole Blender just to work with Grease Pencil tools. So you have easier access to the brushes and the layers and the palettes and the Grease Pencil objects, which is part of the refactor. Right now, Grease Pencil is like something on top of Blender. And you can do a lot of things with it, but everything is a hack. Like if you want to move it around, you have to like sculpt the movement around. And in the new refactor that is being done by Antonio Vasquez on the code side, and there's Daniel Martinez Lara and Matias Mendiola, both great artists helping with the other aspects of Grease Pencil, like the artist part. In this new refactor, Grease Pencil is now an object. So you can do Shift A and then add a Grease Pencil object. Or you just start drawing and it will actually make a new Grease Pencil object where you can just paint around. And if you need to move the whole thing, you just move the object in object mode.
That's great.
And you can patent it to other objects. You can add modifiers even if you want.
Can
if
you
feel
rig
like.
it?
Can you?
Armature?
I think so.
I mean, the limit, the sky is the limit, right?
Wow, amazing.
So, but this is great because
can you
it's
add
really
a wave modifier to it?
Yes, you can. You can. So inside these objects, there is this Grease Pencil object. There is also layers because in the end, it's like these layers inside the object itself is like a Photoshop layers of GIMP. So you can stack the strokes and the fill colors and everything. It's really gonna be a game changer. I mean, not only for Blender, but actually the whole industry, I think, because it's real 3D and it's real 2D in a real 3D.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago when we were in Annecy for the first time, and we were walking around there and seeing what software
last year.
demos. Yeah, was it?
It was last year, yeah.
So long ago. So yeah, there were lots of software demos, and the Annecy festival is all about animation, of course, and you have a lot of 3D, but it is also 2D, traditional animation and flash animation and things like that. And by looking at what tools are available for animators nowadays, of course, there are a couple of very big softwares that a lot of people use, but you can really see that they are, I don't want to say limited because, of course, feature film have been made with those softwares and they work really well. They scale really well to productions with hundreds of animators, but still you can see how they were really meant to be a 2D. So like a 2D drawing or painting application. And and the idea of Blender and Grease Pencil to actually have this available in 3D space, it really, it's a game changer, I think.
Yeah.
And none of those software has it. So if Blender manages to polish the part, like the usability part, and to present itself as artists that are used to draw in 2D expect, then it will be amazing, and it will really make the animation quality go up.
Yeah.
So that's and the speed that Blender has, like in the interaction and how fast it draws and how fast it plays back, like all those things. That's really something that is gonna make it stand out. So
Yeah, really,
I really
definitely.
think that
So-
once like the idea is, I mean, it's not really set yet, but ideally for when 2.8 is out, like the initial stages, probably Grease Pencil will ship with it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, actually, it's planned to be merged soon. So all this work is being done on a branch right now. We had a meeting on Tuesday. We were just talking on Skype or Google with Dalai, with Matthias, Daniel, and Antonio. So we were all there. We were discussing. Daniel, beforehand, he prepared some demos. So we could see actually how he uses the tool and how he's focused on speed, on getting things done fast. And that's really nice. It's not like focused on the shiny, but more like speed and get the ideas from his brain to the Blender as fast as possible. So that is really nice. We watched those demos the day before together with Francesco and Dalai here at the Institute. We reviewed, we got some questions, and the next day we sit down for this meeting. We had a 1-hour meeting, and everybody was really happy and positive. So what to expect? This branch is, well, first of all, there is a documentation. There is a whole document about it. It's going to be moved to the wiki, right?
Well, the first thing is to always at least be open up for feedback from the proposal. Even if the design is well established and there was already some early feedback from artists and developers, it's a nice courtesy when working with free software, open source, to make it public before committing to a design set on stone. So the original design from Antonio Vasquez is going to the wiki, and then he's going to be posting on the Blender mailing list. And from there, we can go and review his branch and address any eventual issue, and then start merging. And he still has a lot of work to do, but then he can actually work on top of 2.8. So everyone testing the daily build can actually also test and play with the Grease Pencil as well. So it's earlier than one might expect, I would say.
Yeah. So first the document, then a review, of course, for all developers, then merging with 2.8. And making demos in this awesome code.blender.org.
Yeah. I'd like to mention that it was really nice. For one of the things I really enjoyed about the meeting we had early this
It was
week.
in Spanish, by the way.
Oh, that was really cool as
You
well.
were talking Spanish, Dalai?
Yeah.
Saved, working up for being prepared for my appointment in July, 6 to
Amazing.
8 of July. Mundo Digitales.
Really? You wanna?
I would love to go, of course. I love the beer. No, like
What?
but
Let's all go.
so the meeting was in Spanish, but that's not the point. The point is, it's so nice to have someone like Daniel Lara, like showing up. He made 3 videos of around 8 minutes each, or 8 minutes total. It doesn't matter. It's so much effort he put on communicating and explaining his pipeline, and that makes a world of difference for development. It's always been the strength of working in the Blender Institute, like to see people here in the studio working.
Animation Studio.
Yeah, it's so many names, yes. and sit beside them and see, just look over their shoulder. Yeah. And it's nice that when we can have this even when collaborating remotely, which is the case for Grease Pencil. So nice work from the original team of Grease Pencil.
That's something people can learn from. It's not just that you have a good idea that is practical and it's very useful for a lot of people. If you can't pitch it to other people, if you can't really communicate it well, then it's not going to happen, really. No. If you can't get people kind of enthusiastic about it, and so they see from your point of view, oh wow, like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, really. I guess for developers, it really changes the whole perspective of how tools will work if you see an actual artist using it.
Of course, you can't assume that you know the best way, or your way is the way, or the only way. It helps if you're as a developer, if you use Blender for work, for artistic work, but even then it's always helped to have someone to consult with. Always.
Yeah.
Right, and there's also a new branding, but this might be
What?
we might rebrand Grease Pencil in some ways,
yes.
but we can keep this for later.
For later,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, just to summarize,
it's
it's
cliffhanger.
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 Okay. So expect the
So whenever next
how was it?
time, next
Pro,
podcast,
essential, the pencil essential.
no, but next
Pencil, just
time,
pencil. Just
next time there's a podcast, and maybe you already have the doc there, or it's already committed, and then we can explain what happened. That's the point.
Okay, so stay tuned for more.
Yeah, totally.
Pretty cool.
Well, okay. I would like to jump away from software development for a moment and have a chat with Andy and Hjalti about the work they've done wrapping up Agent 327. And because you guys in particular, well, Pablo did it too. I wrote.
What?
I wrote. And
What did I do?
You made an awesome lighting walkthrough of 11B.
You see, Andy knows what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, I wrote a blog post about this. It's on cloudofblender.org, and you can actually see it. And it's a little summary of what has been going on so far in terms of documentation and tutorials and videos about Agent 327. And kind of forgot to publish it yesterday, so now it's live and everyone can see it. But maybe Andy can say with his own words what he's been doing for the film.
The light is
What?
waving around his glass.
No,
Well, the light actually poured a glass of water on his head because it's hot.
Yeah.
So I was slightly distracted. So Andy, tell me, you did 3 videos, I think, right?
No, I did 4.
4. Okay.
If I just forgot everything. So I did a video explaining the design process of the barbershop and a little bit about the whole design process of the movie in general. So how we ended up with the look that we have, our thoughts on realism versus stylizing, various aspects of how detailed we portray the world of Agent 327. And then I made another series of 3 videos, which explains a little bit. Well, the first one is about a little overview of the whole production repository. I'm not the best person to talk about this, but I'm just going through all the directories and I show people what setup we have, because some people
Ask for it.
Yeah, they asked for
every
it.
time.
So it was really just straightforward to do it in the beginning of the video. And I jump into the how we used set templates, because that's a bit of a different approach that we took this time. So I wanted to explain that, how we dealt with shot setups just in the set sense, like setting up, bringing the characters into the set and having it work the same time every time you set up a shot. And then I explain how to set up an animation file and a lighting file. And that is done in part with by the awesome tools that you guys came up with. I use Shot Tool and PowerLib for all the file setup. So
So add-ons, right?
yeah, the add-ons that we have, which I also linked to your GitHub, by the way.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, but I mean, the tools that we use are really, really customized to our own workflow. So I think people might not benefit immediately from it, but I mean, maybe someone wants to have a look at that and work on them.
Yeah, they
right?
can learn from it, definitely looking at it. Yeah.
So yeah, the videos are just how do we get from the layout, which is extremely messy and this whole bunch of cubes and stuff, to a file that can be used by an animator. And then I transform the animation file into a file that can be used by a lighting guy. But I only show the basic starting points of the render setup, but not how to add lights and stuff, because that might be good for a later tutorial also.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of videos, they are basically something that would have been nice even to have, earlier on in the production, if you would get another lighting artist, for example, on board. And it's great to do it nevertheless, because then time passes and you don't remember how you used to assemble things. So they're really something to be seen in that optic. And I think that it was very nice for this production that you actually managed to get to that point. So even if our workflow is very custom, at least it's rather consistent across the various shots.
More or less.
The concept, like, okay, we want to have sets, and then, you have a definition of what a set is, and then you instance it into your scene, and that's how you build and assemble a scene. And then there are all the variables and all the things that you have to work around.
Which is sort of the way we did it in the last one in Amigos, right? It hasn't changed that much.
Except that we actually have a template file and
with power lead,
that kind of stuff. Yeah, and that we have a file starting point that has already many groups into that, because in previous projects we have that's true. In Lamigos, we have the scene assembly in each shot file, but we copied it sometimes from one file over, but we didn't have that many shots to deal with. And for this one, it was really good to have a really big, comprehensive collection of stuff that ended up in every shot. So yeah, in a way, they're the same.
Yeah, and I think overall it was just a great exercise to see how we can try and streamline our pipeline for doing these kind of things. And that's definitely not how we want to do it when we make a feature film. You really need other tools and a different approach, but you need to try out things. So these kind of projects are perfect for that. So I thank very much Dalai for actually spending lots of his time in the middle of the project, middle of the project, to actually putting together the add-on and discussing ideas, and actually then providing support, because you design the tool and then you test it. Okay, I want to, link in 100 objects, you try to test it as realistically as possible, but then you actually link in the barbershop, which is like more like 1,000 objects with all sorts of modifiers and rigs and drivers, and then things stop working, and you really need to go back to it and make it work in all the corner cases. So thank you, Dalai, for that, because it was very good that you were around to do it.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to be working with this team, and I'm finally in an open movie poster.
All right.
Very proud.
In a poster,
Yeah, we need to make the poster more visible. It's out there in the back somewhere.
Yeah, we actually printed
said we should
more.
move it. We should move it here.
Now that Dalai moved on the other side of the wall, actually, right? You wouldn't have
totally.
any objection to it. Okay.
None at all.
All right. So, Hjalti, you've also been producing a little feature film about
Feature?
It's multiple feature films.
It's the same length, more or less, about how the fight choreography in the barbershop was made.
Wow, yeah.
That's
It is
one.
almost feature length.
It's 1 hour and 20 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. So
1 hour, 19 minutes and 57 seconds or something like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So what's that all about?
Yeah, so I think I did 4 or 5 progression videos. That's kind of just where I dig in back in our weekly folders, and I kind of dig up what the different kind of shots or whatever look like in various stages, and then I kind of try to make a video that just shows the progression. And it's kind of interesting because it goes all the way from sketches to rough blocking to layout to whatever. So it kind of goes through all of that. One heavy duty video that is all about the fight choreography, like kind of the beginning steps of it, the initial ideas of that, even the reference footage that I was looking at.
Young Francesco, young Hjalti,
yes,
happily punching each other in
year
the face.
ago, yeah. Reference footage of us kind of dancing around, smiling and winking at the camera. Not quite. I was smiling a lot though.
Yeah, we were laughing, of course.
Yeah, it seemed funny. And then I think I did one progression video where we're trying to use our new setup, our new lighting setup, where it's a where it's me kind of explaining about this is kind of what you're gonna see here. It's a video of me, kind of a portrait video. And then it's like, if you want to see more, you can see more at the cloud or whatever.
Exactly, because this video is actually public for everyone to see. So it's on YouTube in the Blender Cloud channel, and it gives you a glimpse. It's like not even a short glimpse. It's like 6 minutes. So it's like
everything I do.
Twice the length of the film. Wow.
Everything I do is always too long.
It's so interesting, and it's just there for everyone to see. So I really recommend you to check it out. And then if you want to, Hjalti doesn't hold anything back. It's really like you sit down with him and he goes on and explains you every detail, every little step that it took to work on that sequence, which is one of the core parts of the film that took really, I guess, in total half a year of animation to to actually produce.
Pretty
so
much,
and it's really like a nice in-depth look from the beginning all the way to the end, and with the advantage that with Hjalti working on it most of like for the entirety of the thing, so from really conceiving the choreography all the way to delivering the final animations, you really see all the steps, all the mistakes, everything that went right and wrong. And so if you're into that kind of thing, it's I think pretty rare content to find around. So yeah, get an idea of how that looks like on the YouTube channel.
I just had a great idea. What if we do a video like the whole barbershop, but a split screen where we have one part the movie and the other part is only the reference footage that the animators took to animate their shot. That would be hilarious,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Wow.
Because
The
I was not only thinking of the fight footage from you guys, but also the stuff that Nathan recorded,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
cracking his spine or stuff like that.
Some of it doesn't exist, and some of it was already deleted. Like I would sometimes I would shoot something really quick just on my phone, and I wouldn't even put it in the computer. I would just look at it a couple of times, and then once I got kind of the gist of it, and I kind of got the notion that I wanted, my phone ran out of memory, and I deleted everything.
What?
Yeah,
The cloud, man. The cloud.
Yeah, no, it's just like the Linux. I don't know. Sometimes rejects my phone if I hook it up. It's this is not a real device.
I mean, internet. Like you can back up your stuff online.
Oh, that's
for
true.
free.
I'm a grandpa. I don't know how that works. Yeah.
It's a little button that's shaped like a cloud.
Oh, okay. On
There is
the internet. I don't know.
Internet.
Yeah.
I mean, you get your phone, you dial on. Okay, wait.
Usually, I end up if I can't copy it straight into Linux because of whatever reason, then I have to throw it into Dropbox, and then from there I grab it and
No, well, yeah, Google Photos.
yeah.
Use that.
Okay, so that being said, you guys are now not only focusing on this Agent 327 content. Hopefully there will be more. In the blog post, I actually ask to our supporters if there is anything in particular they would like to see, or if you're listening to us and you're a cloud subscribers, you want us to talk about anything in particular, please let us know. Just a heads up, I'm going to record a video about how we use the Flamenco and Attract, our render management and production tracking and production management softwares in production. So it will be a little demo of how the edit is connected with Attract, how Attract looks like on the cloud, how we use Flamenco, and so on. And this is in anticipation of our Flamenco private beta launch, which then will become the actual Flamenco official release. So that's something we are prioritizing now. That's something we are working on with Sibren, who I really hope will join us in the next episode to actually celebrate the release, because in 2 weeks we should really be done and the thing should be online. Really getting close. And it's so exciting because this project has been going forever. We've been talking about it forever, and we're really polishing it to the point where, it's really a self-service tool. Like anyone can go there and follow some simple instructions and get that to work for themselves, which is one of the hardest parts of software development, like not being there to explain every click and explain everything, and just have something that can run.
And we have a special announcement. So on the day that we kind of release that thing, there's going to be a video of Francesco, Pablo, and Sibren, who are going to do only about 10 seconds of actual flamenco dancing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Great.
Yeah, in order to raise awareness for this thing being online.
It could have been worse.
It could be in front of the flamingo
the
cage at the zoo next door.
I was more thinking of actually, just going around dressed as flamencos. That would also be like,
dancing flamenco.
Big pink things.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, maybe that's better.
You can merge the two ideas.
Yeah.
In the backdrop. That's brilliant.
Guys dancing flamenco, I think that's quite tough.
Just a couple of seconds.
You have a couple of months to
thank you.
Practice.
Yeah. So that's actually something I wanted to mention, because we are really looking forward to that, and that's also some content that will come to the cloud in terms of training and making of video, in a sense. I mean, we are not as you know, we are not really that focused on tutorials, as in this is how you make the agent starting from scratch, but more in sharing the techniques and the processes that we do for people that actually work in production. They just want to know another side of things, and there is plenty to learn there, and it's even good for us just to share and recap what we do to make it better the next time. So that's more the kind of content that we are going to put out there. And we are also putting back some more energy into planning and developing other kind of content for the cloud. In terms of actual tutorials, there are no announcement yet, but of course we are aware that we need to keep updating those sections too, because if you actually want to learn techniques, I mean, there is nothing wrong about it, but this team here is focused on films at the moment. So we work always with great partners that make this kind of content. So there will be news for that too in the future. And I would say also, just as a little, since this is the podcast of improvisation and cliffhangers, that in the next episode of the podcast, probably there will also be an announcement about something next that the studio team has been working on.
What?
Just saying.
Wow.
Next what? Next
is
software? Next, because this team is very...
Yeah, the team makes lots of things.
Yeah, training software or
Blender 3.
Open game?
Whoa. Hold your horses.
What?
Whoa.
You're Frankie too? What?
Who said that? Who is it?
Stream 10.
Hashtag Crystal Space is back.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's going to be an animation. Just
Like an open
just
movie, you mean?
there, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
An open movie?
Crazy.
Yeah, maybe.
What?
What
Yeah.
are those guys doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it
Jesus.
going to be one of those really long, drawn out, complicated ones that takes a year to make?
Well, I mean, do we do any other thing than that?
No, I guess not.
Stay tuned.
Ooh,
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Do we see animals trying to kill themselves, with a hope?
Yeah, well, we're thinking about something other. I mean, suicidal penguin, suicidal. I mean, there's a lot of suicidal animals out there. We can always kind of play.
It's like
around.
it's a whole series. That's what Cosmos are
Yeah.
actually about.
We
No?
just need a couple of French directors, maybe. Life. Oh, why? Why anything? Oh, no.
Why anything?
Wow.
Pourquoi? C'est la vie, c'est la vie.
Oh, I love the French. Mathieu, we love you.
So, shall
we do the questions, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, right? Because we
Yeah,
are
this is the
we are
moment.
streaming since 15 minutes, so
Yes,
that
yes.
is nice too.
Definitely, I think we are gonna
Cool.
answer.
So there is only one question on the blog, so you're gonna have priority to that, and then
Yes.
we can move on some questions. I think most of them are on YouTube.
Yeah.
So this question looks terrific and reminds me of the new John Wick poster. Did you use it as a reference?
The what? John Wick?
John Wick, yeah.
I have not seen that poster. I know what John Wick is.
Well, actually, I looked at it, and it's the same. It's the guy there in
lots
the
of
middle
weapons
with
pointed
lots
at
of
him.
weapon pointing at him.
No way.
Yes.
What?
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
No, that's
so
really
it's
cool.
a
I
good
haven't seen it.
coincidence.
So no, it's from a long time ago. It was discussion between me and Ton or something about him in a barber chair, and then a lot of things coming in towards him. And then later on, I took that idea and then I just kind of escalated into objects being held. It's not just hands. And then I don't know, but no, I haven't. I want to see John Wick too.
It's cool. The poster is the same
Yeah, I mean, there is one.
without the barber chair.
Right.
There is one quite famous Ratatouille poster that was also kind of an inspiration for this. For this,
yeah, the knives coming
Yeah,
in.
we looked at that at some point as a reference, but it's a nice concept, which I guess that's why it works, and more people do that because it really leads the eye to the character, and it's very dynamic, and you see lots of tiny details. So yeah.
So, David McSween asks, I was wondering if it's possible to release any agent scenes in a more lightweight form that will make it easier for outsiders to play with. Perhaps less geometry or simple rigs.
No, that's not happening.
Nope. Especially the simple rigs.
Yeah,
it's
that-
like
that part
there's
is
no way
never
to
gonna
simplify blend rig. It's
Yeah.
3,000 bones last time I counted.
Yeah.
3,000 bones.
Switching the scene to simplify helps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Exactly.
But I just assumed that he already tried that, and then this is like taking it one step further.
Yeah,
Not
it's so
necessarily,
complex.
because I mean, if you are just curious for the first time, you want to dive into a scene, and you know, it's not really about the level of detail that there is in the scene. It's more like understanding that we work at different levels of details depending on the stage where we are at. So knowing how to tune the scene so that it gives you good performance, that's the important part. Because with a computer, like even the animation computer Hjalti was working on, and I say animation computer as a synonym for a crappy computer, basically.
yeah.
But like a little gray box
Yeah.
with a CRT monitor.
Exactly, with a non-SSD inside, like a spinning disk.
Yeah. And at one point, the hard drive actually just died on me.
Yeah.
And I was given not a brand new hard drive, but
A refurbished hard
yeah,
drive.
yeah, exactly. It's only 7 years old. Let's just wipe it and give it to you.
At least the dust is cleared away from it.
Yeah. So, it's more about that. So if you find that you're trying to play with the scene and explore how things are done, just make sure you look in all the scene simplification settings and how layers are being used and what kind of shading you're using. And those are the first things to get your hands on if you find that the scene is hard to use. And use the outliner. The outliner helps a lot to understand what is going on in the scene, because we really put effort into naming things properly. And
Most of the time.
Yeah, of course, to a certain extent. But
Yeah, especially the lighting, everything that is pretty clear now.
if you want to know where
Yeah.
the camera is, if you want to know where the key lights are, like those kind of things are really easy to find out, and that will really help you to navigate through those big and heavy files.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point, actually even watching Andy's video, because this is also connected with it, like you understand how those shots are assembled, and you also get an idea of where things are, and that really helps to understand. Because I can imagine if you just open a file, you have
It's
no
a
idea what's
nightmare,
going
yeah.
on. It's
Yeah.
super slow, especially if you open a lighting file. No way.
Yeah, they're usually saved with the settings for rendering. So yeah, it's gonna be heavy. So just go to the Simplified Settings. First thing is disable hair. That makes things very slow. Then simplify subdivision to 0. And then that pretty much should bring you, should be
I think
pretty
the
fine.
ones that are on the cloud, they should have Simplify on,
Okay, cool.
but
It's just in case.
they are just left like we used them for the
Rendering.
film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
in the near future, we would have an open movie that is super light with really light rigs and characters.
Really?
You can
Oh.
just open and look at them.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. Just playing real time without
Wow.
any problems. Or
Renders
heavy-
fast.
Yeah, renders relatively fast. And
I mean, glass half.
no, not that one.
Oh well, I opened Glass Half recently, and it's no. I mean the animation
fast.
file is okay, but I mean the lighting file is meant for rendering. So and that is just full on subsurf everything, so it plays back really really slow. Even though we say it's OpenGL rendered, it's not fast.
Yeah, it's not real time OpenGL render. It's just rendered with OpenGL.
But come on, 4K frame rendering at 1.5 seconds. That's amazing.
Best 4K renders ever. All right, more questions.
So that was it actually for the blog the blog question. So yeah, basically
So can we scrub through?
we
So,
can on
YouTube
Facebook there's
first.
not no questions yet, so we can scroll up.
Can we
and
do
go
this
ahead.
backwards, or
Yeah.
do we start?
No, let's start from the top because people have been waiting for it.
I think that long.
Yeah,
thing-
so that's the first one was there. Are they answering any questions? So I would like to know how they're handling the faults in clothes in Agent 327, shade keys, drivers, and
who asked And who is asking this?
Murilo Kleine. Kleine.
Kleine.
Like that's small in Dutch. Sorry.
Okay, so the folds for the cloth. We have two different types of cloth in Agent 327, the one that is simulated and the one that isn't. For the simulation, which is mainly in the last part of the film where we go underground with all the bad guys there, they're all simulated by Luca Roth, and he's done the simulation for that in his own cloth simulation branch of Blender. And that is hopefully also going to be in 2.8.
Yes.
Yes.
Not 7.9, but 8. Yes.
Yeah. So
So the agent himself, Boris, and the barber, it's just rigged.
really static, and most of the cloth has been animated. The sleeves and all the flaps around, and
By hand, frame by frame, a lot of times.
And the agent himself is special because his cloth has an additional layer of wrinkles that were tuned to just work for deformation. So he has wrinkles for his arms when they fold, and his torso, and if I remember correctly, also his pants. So when he was walking, the pants show wrinkles and that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And that is indeed done with drivers. And In short, I think I'll probably do a tutorial about that on the cloud because it's a bit complicated to set up. But it's based on displacement maps. So there are either 2 different displacement maps for the cloth or 4. I think, no, there's 2. So one for compression and one for stretching. And they are basically just a black and white displacement map that is, should I keep talking?
No, maybe you can make a tutorial about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a tutorial about it.
Yeah.
But it's a black and white displacement map, and it's driven by the rotation of the joints. So when the arm is rotated in a certain way, I trigger the displacement map for compression or so. You're all looking at me
So cool.
really bored.
That
It's
used
a
to-
lot of details though.
years ago, 5-6 years ago, that used to be really hard to do with to hook up drivers with bones on bone rotation without getting some weird dependency cycle or whatnot.
Now with the new dependency graph.
Yeah, it's so
It's even
slow.
slower.
Yeah. It works as expected.
Anyway, let's
doing
move.
it really, really stupid without any rotational differences. It's just I'm amazed that it works. But I think that's also due to BlendRig because Juan Pablo has bones for those kind of things in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's
Andy, I think you tweeted about this a long time ago.
a long time ago.
Yeah, I
probably.
remember.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway, thank you so much, Dalai. I'm gonna do a tutorial about it if people are interested in that kind of stuff.
All right, lightning round. Let's pick up the speed.
Okay, do you guys use Filmic for Blender? Not only Blender now has Filmic on 2.79, but
And who has
also.
Who asked that?
Oh, it's this person called Joshua Kubit.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Joshua. And also Eve is gonna already has Filmic, so Eve also can play the Filmic for tone mapping. It's pretty good.
Awesome.
Speaking of Eve, Rodrigo Mateo Ortiz de la Morena asked if the bloom effect is gonna be adjustable. I can
is
answer
already.
that. It is not only is already, but it's gonna be even more.
Wow,
Because the color of the bloom also going to be a new setup, a new setting in the near future.
that's like super customizable.
Yes. So we have more questions.
Sweet.
What's the god of the live stream?
The goal.
The goal of the live stream is to entertain people.
Get instant feedback.
Who asked that? Amir asked.
Okay, so Murillo is back and he asks if it will work with pen tablets and maybe with VR controllers. And we were actually talking about Grease Pencil at that point, I think. So I think...
Yes, for pen tablets. It has always
That's
worked.
already worked. Yeah, that's already worked with the pressure sensitivity. Yes.
And next question.
VR.
VR control. That would be
VR?
amazing. Like a
Now, in the
Painting.
future, the idea is that all the inputs in Blender are generic enough that you can do anything with any kind of funky input device you might have. We're not there yet, but in the
So
future,
it has potential. Yeah.
has potential. Yeah.
So that's what the Vive is for that you have next to your computer for. Wow.
Yes. There's a question about Gawain. Maybe I should answer that.
Yeah, I think
What
so.
is it?
Who is it? Protocol, a library, a
I don't
way
know how
to
to say
manage?
his name. Nawel Belich.
Nawel.
Nawel Belich. And so Gawain is a library which was is created by Mike Irving, is a developer who's being paid by AMD, and it's part of Blender. So basically, it's a library that help us to port the old Blender drawing calls to a new latest OpenGL. That's as technical as I will go here now.
Okay.
But is it used now or not anymore?
It's been used, yeah, it's been used. It was used also for the transition, but also as the groundwork for the new
For the new
drawing system, because then you can at some point support Vulkan without changing the Blender code. So Vulkan's a new OpenGL replacement. So that's the idea of having a unified library for this.
All right, next
That's
question.
Gawain.
So one question is about if we are hiring or accepting collaboration. And,
Who was that from?
It's from Gameta VT. And dear Gameta, just drop an email to francesco@blender.studio if you have a portfolio, if you want to share your work and see if there is an opportunity for you right now. The studio is not hiring, but of course we have lots of bright things ahead of us. So we are going to definitely be on the lookout for artists. So just drop us an email, and it's always nice. We're always happy to be in touch.
Lil Ken asks, how far are you into the Gooseberry project? Are there any plans for Caminandes? Sorry if these have been asked before.
So Gooseberry right now is pretty much on ice until further notice. Maybe some crazy investor or distributor, shovels money in our faces and wants to pick this up as a full series or a feature film. but right now our aim kind of went in another direction. For Caminandes, Pablo.
Director
Are
of
there any
Caminandes.
plans?
Creator of Caminandes.
Co-founder.
Caminandes.
Filmer of llamas.
I don't. Are there any plans? No. Well, no. Right now, the institute's doing. The animation studio is doing other stuff, and I don't think that. I don't know. I don't know if there is room for
Not
Agent 327.
There's always room for a llama.
I hope, but I mean, the last project we said, yeah, let's make a 1 minute thing, and then it ended up being like a 3-month project, which is not. I mean, it's not so much. You can make 4 in a year, but it is an investment of the team and the whole institute, the whole studio. So I hope we can do something about it, but it's also nice that other get to make their own projects. We already make 3 of them.
But there are stories, there are ideas,
We
there
have
is
like
lots to do.
like a dozen more stories already laid out. Some of them are already like, we even have like some storyboards. There are characters planned. There is a whole universe around this. But we just need more people.
Stuff could happen.
Yes, I would love to.
So
right.
Tosin asks, which kind of rig did you use for Agent 327? We used Blend rig made by Juan Pablo Bauza. And next up?
Face map. Asked by
Face planned.
Jefferson Rosso asked about face map. Is that what?
It is something that Campbell Barton is working on, something
Yes.
that he'll need to start. And it's not there in 2.8 yet, but it is to have a whole character animated without the proper rig, or as far as animator is concerned, anything can be a widget that can just drag, but it's not there yet. You'll hear about it once it's there in the code.blender.org.
the place to be. Okay, and then finally, someone asking if the live stream will be the norm.
Who is this? Someone.
Crispy Crystals.
There you go.
Thank you, Crispy. And well, we are trying to do this, and we wonder how this is still gonna sound like. But it's fun to do, and it allows us to interact and keep us sharp.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Away from our mobile phones and stuff.
Last time we did it on 360, and this time the 360 camera we couldn't get it because it is being fixed. And we even thought like, well, shall we do it or not? And actually, I think it's pretty nice that we do it.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
Yeah,
Crispy
let us know in
Crystals?
the comments.
Let us know, yeah.
Especially the SoundCloud people and the iTunes people that will listen later.
Yeah.
Well, what is it too annoying? Sorry.
But they get the proper stereo sound.
Oh,
this is
stereo.
mono,
Yeah, this is
yeah.
mono.
This was the end of our list. So
Yeah, that's it.
Facebook? No? Nothing?
yeah,
on
we
Facebook?
No,
actually
Facebook no.
checked, but there is more like
Just chatting and
Yeah.
hearts and stuff.
yeah, is a chat. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you very much for all the emojis that you give us. There you go.
For the
Okay.
audio listener.
Where is Ton
we were
right
doing
now?
hearts.
Ton
was
is like, how many meters do you think is behind this wall?
Ton is less than 10
Ton-
meters away.
Ton is here actually behind the wall.
He was just threatening to bring cookies to us earlier. I kind of waved, and because he was like with a little plastic thing.
Aboard the
Like,
cookie.
That was the sound. Yeah. He was getting a
cookies,
plat.
yes.
But I actually would like a cookie or ice cream maybe.
let's get cookies now.
ice
get
cream.
ice
To
cream.
them, it probably sounded like a fireplace behind us. Like,
Crackling back on.
Very romantic. But no,
Yeah.
it's actually just done with cookies.
And I think that was it for this Blender Animation Studio podcast. Thank you very much for following us. We will be back in a couple of weeks with, I think, plenty of news. It's going to be great. And it's going to be the middle of summer. We're going to be melting. And well, thank you very much for following
In
us.
2 weeks.
yes.
And see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
See you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Blender Institute. No, wait, Animation Studio podcast or something. Brought to you by the Blender Cloud. Do you hunger for a bite of fight choreography? Get a knuckle sandwich on the cloud. Go to cloud.blender.org.
Good.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for following us.
Memory of saying Blender Institute podcast no matter what.
And
let's say goodbye to the guys.
See
Bye-bye. Thank you.